tackle against Robbie Whitcup, and we're underway. Off the draw, the puck comes to Nick Toth, and he dumps it deep in Berg territory. Right on Bixby, steers it into the corner. Puck dumped by Johnson in behind the net. Johnson to Boyer. Boyer has it intercepted, comes back to the point, but in turn it's intercepted by Pisani. He flips it ahead to Ashley. Ashley dumps it deep in Massena territory. Puck in behind the Massena net. As it squirts free, Devils will control. That's Pisani in the corner. He gets tied up, but picking it up is Wilson trying to center, but it's knocked away. Good idea. Didn't quite work out, but here come the Raiders. Ramo dumps it from the red line deep. Stopped in behind the net by Bixby, leaving for his defenseman. Stolen away by Michaud. Michaud gets tied up, gets it back, drops it on the other side for Ramo. Ramo whacks it in. Whitcup can't come up with it. He's taken out of the play smartly by Drew Johnson. Puck to the blue line, not out of the zone. Dumped into the circle, cleared back to the blue line and out to center ice. Here comes Johnson, upended, and the crowd calling for a penalty. Not going to be one. And it's Brian Hatch for Massena picking up the loose puck in his own end. Throws it ahead and down the ice. That'll go for icing against Massena and move the faceoff back in Raider territory.
The Devils caught a break there. I felt number 5, Dan Weirs, the defenseman, certainly could have played that puck just over the blue line, but he elected to play it smartly, pulled the stick back, and got the call. Face-off deep in the Massena end to the right of goaltender Dusty DeLille.
McClear's line out there. Ryan Morley and Mike Ashley are the two wingers. Tubolino will be centering the Bruce brothers tonight. Off the face-off, the puck is kicked back to the blue line and out to center ice. Levine on one wing and Catanzarite on the other wing. Tubolino to Catanzarite. He tries to dump it, hit the official. Now it's dumped into the zone. Adam racing after it, pokes it free to Levine, trying to get the shot off, but it's blocked by the defenseman. Comes in behind the net. Tubolino digs it out of the corner, left side. Centering pass right across the goal mouth. Knocked down by Levine in front to Catanzarite. His shot on the backhand, knocked behind the net. Chris Levine with it. He's tied up by the defenseman. Catanzarite comes in, throws a check. The puck squirts free, comes to the blue line, and the Devils look to move it out to center ice and do, just across the blue line. Catanzarite knocks it away. Now it's thrown by the hand pass. Raiders look to touch it. Do they clear the zone? Apparently not, but they control the puck. Chris Levine, he'll dump it on the other side to Brian Hatch. Hatch headman. No, he's going to carry it. Now he dumps it ahead for Tubolino. Tubolino flips it in the corner where it's intercepted by the Blue Devils as they look. It's Pearson looking to move it out of the zone. He just does. Dumped right back in again. Now following up on the play, defenseman Weirs flips it into the Massena zone. There's a race as Pearson and the Massena defenseman Nick Toth going after. The puck squirts in front of the net. Devils control, dumping it in behind. Now it's Brandon Hall from Massena. Circles back from right to left, back to right. Starts out right side. Nice headman pass to Tubolino. Nick starts down the off wing. Backhands it. He wants off as the Raiders will make a line change. Puck comes in behind the net. Into the corner it goes. Devils trying to come up with it. It squirts free to Aaron Ramo. Ramo trying to center it. He loses his stick. The puck knocked away from him. Zach Dupree throws a check. Rupert can't get a piece of it. The Devils control, and out to center ice it goes. To the Massena line. Intercepted there by Hall. Nice move to Rupert. Rupert has it knocked off the end of his stick, right back out to the neutral zone. Nick Toth gathers it in. He carries it ahead, goes by one. Here's Nick Toth. Here's Toth. His shot deflects off the defenseman. Puck in the corner now. Toth trying to come up with it in behind the net. And it circles to Rupert, who had stepped back to play his defensive position. In the front, stolen away as Zach Dupree tried to center, and the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Toth dumps it right back in. Raiders have to clear, but the Devils clear the puck. Here's Wilson across the blue line. He gets a shot, but it's blocked by Nick Toth. Dupree picking up the loose puck. No, that's Ramo, excuse me. Here's Aaron Ramo, Ryan Ramo. Ramo trying to barge his way through. He does! And coming out to poke check the puck away is the goaltender, Andy Bixby, as somehow Ramo got through two Blue Devils players. Just barged his way through. Now the puck comes to Michaud in the corner. Steps by the check. Has it knocked away behind the net. The bouncer into the circle. Ramo trying to pick it up. Knocked off his stick. And Nick Pisani. Pisani bodied off the play by Robbie Whitcup. Puck comes to Ramo. Ramo from the red line. Steps by the check and dumps it deep. In behind the Ogdensburg net. Bixby stops it. Trying to wrap it around. Goes to Michaud. Michaud, and now we've got a mix-up behind the net. As Robbie Whitcup and the OFA defenseman, I think that's Garvey, are into it a little bit. And we're going to have a whistle and probably a penalty or penalties. And there was another one that could have been a penalty over here after the fact.
We will have penalties. Definitely Robbie Whitcup's going to get the call. We'll wait and see if Mike Garvey picks one up also. Robbie might have gotten for goaltender interference. We'll wait and see what the call is. I think maybe just Massena on the penalty.
No, they're pointing to the OFA penalty box as well, or at least I think he was. Maybe not.
Jerry, a guy who really impressed me, and getting better all the time out there. The first shift out there just looked awesome. Number 19, that big sophomore for the Raiders on defense, Brandon Hall. He took charge in his own end. You see him growing by leaps and bounds in each game.
He made a couple of nice moves. Number one, to move it by forechecking forward and then to headman the puck.
You can just see the confidence that's growing each game, and that's what he needs, is confidence. He's got the skills. And
it is matching minors. Garvey will get the gate as well. So we'll probably have a goaltender interference and a roughing.
Face off deep in the Ogdensburg end, and the Devils defending the goal to our right, which is the west end here at the beautiful Massena Arena.
I think the Raiders may have caught a break on that one.
I agree with you.
Michaud will take the face off. In the Berg zone, off the draw. Ogdensburg controlling. Out to center ice is John Ashley. Ashley down the right wing side. Poke checked away by Aaron Leduc. Leduc clears the puck, not out of the zone. Here's a shot from the point. DeLille gives up the rebound, but is cleared into the corner nicely by Leduc. Raiders break out. Levine goes behind him. Intercepted there by Boyer. Dumps it right back in Massena territory. In behind the net is Brian Hatch. Hatch flips it for Aaron Leduc. He gathers it and starts out left side of the goalie. Banks it off the board, or make that right side of the goalie. Banks it off the boards out to center ice. Picked up by Michaud. Michaud circles back now, looking for Levine on the headman, and he'll just dump it inside Berg territory as he wants off. Picking it up is Drew Johnson. Johnson's wrong headman pass to the red line. Knocked away. Picked up and re-picked up as Ramo couldn't control. In the zone, here's the shot. Dusty makes the save on Corey McClear. Got a good shot off. Puck back to the blue line, kept in at the point. Here's the drive. Big save again by DeLille on Drew Johnson. Nobody in front of him, though, so he saw that one all the way. Back out to the neutral zone. It trickles inside Ogdensburg territory. Back after it there is Corey McClear. Flips it along the boards. The puck comes to the blue line. Poke-checked and kept in by Hall. He'll dump it in behind the net. Controlled by goaltender Bixby. He'll flip into the corner. Comes back into the circle where it's picked up by Eric Boyer. Boyer's pass gets by. No, Hall gets it. Almost got beat. Now he flips it to Ramo one-on-one. Ramo cuts across. He's lifted, stick lifted out of the play. And the penalties have elapsed as the puck goes up into the crowd. And we'll have a face-off. 9:22 left in the first period. Corky's Collision scoreboard says 0-0.
Raiders on a change again, have been guilty of changing in mass, and that time that long pass, rink-wide pass from deep in the Ogdensburg end, got in behind the Raider defense, and they had a blue shirt in behind, but it took a weird hop off the boards. If not, he's home free from the blue line in. You mentioned a couple of big saves by Dusty, but he's got to corral those rebounds. Can't be giving those big rebounds. Unfortunately, there wasn't a blue shirt there to pick it up.
Off the face-off, Tubolino out there. The puck, that's McDonald, who's playing a wing. Puck out to center ice, comes to Brian Hatch. Hatch dumps it off the boards, deep in Ogdensburg territory. Puck around the boards to the blue line, not out of the zone, kept in. Here's a pass in front, shot. Catanzari gets the rebound and can't corral that one. As he got the initial shot, the rebound came back to him, couldn't get a backhander on it, and Bixby holds on as it trickles in on him.
Adam Catanzaric, who's had a fine season, and just that previous shift out there, was going to comment when I had a chance how he just leveled the Ogdensburg player. I think that was number 11, Corey McClear, who tried to dump him, and he's been having that robust forechecking, working the boards really strong. In that situation there, the puck came to him out in that slot area about 15 feet out, got the shot off, but not what he wanted on it. Didn't have a lot on it, and put it right at Andy Bixby, but he's had a good season.
Tyler Richards. Here's Ramo's shot off the face-off. It doesn't get all the way through, and the Devils will move it out to center ice. Derek Dodd with it. He'll dump it deep in Massena territory. Stop behind the net by DeLille. Now the puck controlled by the Devils, but it's poked away. Back to the blue line. Here's a drive from the point. DeLille makes a save, but gave up the rebound, but the Raiders defense clears it. Here comes Massena. Poke checked away. Right back in Raider territory it goes. Aaron Leduc after it. Leduc lifts it down the middle, and it's controlled by a high stick, and the whistle blows, and the faceoff will move in Ogdensburg territory. The bench was yelling, "Don't touch it," but he's got to touch it, otherwise the Raiders will.
Communication is a big thing between a goaltender and his defense, and it had backfired a second ago when Massena goaltender and a D ran at each other and left the puck, and it was picked up by a Blue Devil and thrown out in front of the net. But you have to know if they're going left or right. You got to communicate out there.
Whitcup back out there to take the face-off against Corey McClear. Off the draw, Michaud steps by the check, poke checked away. Ramo shot right on, scores a goal! Ryan Ramo, and the Raiders take a 1-0 lead.
Ryan Ramo just off the draw. Aaron Michaud got the puck, put a nice little move on the defender, but couldn't get the shot off. It hit a leg and bounced right back out to Ryan Ramo, and he can really snap it off, but I have to say that's one of his weaker shots. Didn't get a lot on it, but found the right spot, beat goaltender Bixby to somewhat of a screen on the stick side, and the Raiders jump up 1-0.
A seeing eye shot, Coach.
That's it. Good analogy. A seeing eye shot.
Here comes Toth with the puck off the ensuing faceoff. He backhands it deep in Berg territory. Ramo, or I should say Michaud, trying to center it, but we have a whistle. And was that offsides, perhaps?
Yes, it was. It's going to be Ryan Ramo's third goal of the year. We'll wait to see who pick up the assist. I know Michaud will get one. Probably Whitcup will be off the draw. That's the threesome. And that line has really been on fire also for the Raiders. But Ryan Ramo, he'll take him any way he can get him. I'll tell you, he's had some good opportunities this year and had a little tough luck. But sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
I remember one against Canton in particular. Whitcup trying to barge his way through. The puck rolls off his stick. Weirs picks it up and takes it behind the net. Starts out left side, just trickles it out to the neutral zone. And Robbie Whitcup is back after it. Whitcup turns it around, drops it to Toth. Toth's head man. Here come the Raiders, 2-on-1. Michaud coming in with Ramo, gets a shot off. Actually, the Devils got back nicely on that. Hall pinches in, keeps it in the corner. Michaud throws a check. The puck squirts free to Garvey. He'll flip it over on the other side. Picked up by Weirs, banks it off to center ice. Right back in the zone by Massena defenseman Aaron Leduc. Here come the Devils, back the other way. Weirs shot, and Dusty had a little problem with that, but he made the stop, and the puck goes into the corner. Cleared around the boards. Catanzari to the blue line, out to center ice. Here comes Tubolino, makes a nice move across. Oh, and Chris Levine just a half a step ahead of the play offsides.
Nick Tubolino getting his shot in the limelight out there, getting that starting assignment tonight, and looking good out here in this first couple of shifts. That Raider goal, his third of the year, coming at the 6:36 mark. Ryan Ramo with line mates Robbie Whitcup and Aaron Michaud picking up the assist.
7:23 left in the first period. Corky's Collision scoreboard reads 1-0 Massena. Tubolino to take the face-off. Off the draw against McClear. Raiders win it, dump it deep in Ogdensburg territory after Boyer. Boyer ridden hard by Levine, comes to Tubolino, gets a shot off, not much on it, but the save made by Andy Bixby. Now comes to Catanzari, deep in the corner, back to the point. Hatch, tried to center it. Tubolino gets knocked down, gets back up again, tries to circle behind the net to Chris Levine. Levine takes a whack, it comes to Tubolino, back to Levine, he can't find it, and the Devils break it out of there. Here comes Ryan Morley, in on the off wing, has it knocked away at the blue line, back out to center ice it goes. Picked up by the OFA defense. Boyer dumps it in the Massena zone. Goes in behind the net for Aaron Leduc. He'll start out left side. Looks for his winger. That's Levine. Levine's pass knocked away. Gets it back again. Lost it. The bouncing puck. Levine stays with it. Can't clear the zone. It sits there. Finally, it's poke checked out to center ice by Leduc. Nobody could find the handle on that one. Back in the Ogdensburg zone. They'll move it smartly to center ice. Bouncing puck right at the red line. There's a battle for it. It bounces off a couple of legs back in Ogdensburg territory. Boyer has to come back after it. Here's Boyer. Picks up a forechecker. McDonald manages to move it out to center ice. And it's Aaron Ramo backhanding it right back in the Ogdensburg zone. In behind the net, Devils control on the defense. Off the glass to center ice. Hall is there. Nice flip to McDonald, who dumps it right back in the zone. Rupert chasing in after it. Boyer gets there first. Rupert tries to rub him off the puck. Now Ramo in there battling for it. The puck in behind, trying to slide it to Rupert. He can't come up with it. Flipped around by the other defenseman, and off the glass to center ice. Hall is there to dump it back in. Delay offsides, Raiders clear, although I think they touched it in the zone. But nonetheless, no whistle, and the puck comes around the boards. Blue Devils out to center ice, intercepted there. Whitcup right off the bench. He tries to make his move. Gets by one. Doesn't get by the second, however. Puck out to center ice. Nick Toth off the boards, back in the Ogdensburg zone. Puck kept in there by Whitcup. Here's Whitcup. He's got Michaud. Whitcup backhander right on. Rebound sitting in front. Where is it? They jam for it. It's finally clear to the blue line. Nick Toth turns around. His shot is blocked. Comes out to the blue line. Not out of center ice yet. Still in the zone. Ramo after it. Now Michaud. He can't come up with it. To the blue line. Toth keeps it in. Here's Nick Toth stepping by a check. Kicks it in front. It's going to trickle on. but goaltender Bixby is going to cover up and hold on for the face-off. 5:03 left in the first period. Corky's Collision scoreboard reads 1-0 Massena.
Well, Raiders on a roll, just bottling up the Blue Devils in their own end, getting the puck in deep and getting in on top of that defense. The only way that the Devils can clear the zone is just by running it off the dash or running it off the wall as hard as they can, and the Raiders all kinds of pressure.
Whitcup out there to take the draw. He'll face off against Wilson off the draw. The face-off in the circle. Whitcup trying to barge his way through, can't do it. Weirs picks up the loose puck. Flips it ahead of the blue line. Hatch keeps it in. Now it's poke checked out to the neutral zone where Michaud picks it up, flips it ahead for Ramo, knocked away. Back to Michaud. Michaud has it taken away, and Pisani comes across. Here's a shot, save made by Dusty DeLeo. Gave up another big rebound, but the Raiders clear it. I guess that's the key. Don't give him a second shot. Here comes Massena trying to barge their way through. Whitcup somehow got a shot off as he was hauled down from behind, and Bixby has to make a save, and Whitcup ends up on the bottom of the pile.
Devils coming into tonight's game with a 4-6-2 overall record, 2-2-1 in the division. As we mentioned, Massena coming off that sweep down at the Capital District with an 8-4-2 overall record, 4-1-1 in the division.
Tubolino's line coming back across from Massena against the McClear line. Tubolino and the Levine out there with Catanzarite. McClear, Morley, and Ashley off the face-off. Puck in the circle. Comes back to the point. Here's a shot, Leduc, and he fired it high and wide. Did it hit the crossbar?
No, but Bixby never saw it.
No, I guess he didn't. Here comes the puck in front, and trying to get the shot off was Catanzarite, and he couldn't. Back to the blue line. Hatch pinches in. Comes to Tubolino. Catanzarite is back at the point now, filling in, but the Blue Devils will control Boyer behind his net. Has it knocked away, bounces in front, he gets it free, and out to center ice it comes. All the way down the ice. Leduc tried to play it and got by him, and goes in behind the net. Dusty DeLeo clears it around for Levine. Levine trying to come up with a puck, he can't. Hatch throws a check, the puck in the corner, and Tubolino picks it up, flips it ahead to Levine. Levine moves it out to center ice to Adam Catanzarite. Here's Catanzarite across the blue line, gets a quick snapshot off, fired it wide as they want off. Puck comes back to the neutral zone. Devils, no, they don't clear, now they do. Out to center ice as Rupert came across the boards, almost stole the puck. Here's Nick Toth with it. Headman pass goes to Aaron Ramo. He backhands it just across the blue line. Puck picked up on the defense by Drew Johnson. Around the board, Zach Dupree steps in front, flips it in behind the net. Around the other way, Devils will try again. Comes to Toth at the point. Can't get the shot off. Goes to Ramo. Ramo's got room. Steps in front. Winds up. And it's blocked. Back to the blue line. Out to center ice. Picked up by Ramo. And I think he touched it on the wrong side of the blue line. And offsides will be the call. 3:05. Make that 3:09 left in a fast-paced first period. And a 1-0 Massena score on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
Young Mike Ashley, number 9 out there for the Devils, only an 8th grader, and he got a couple of big goals last weekend. It's going to be a real prospect, but he just met the real world as he tangled with Chris Levine along the boards, and I tell you, he just got steamrolled.
Rupert out there. The Devils win the draw, move it to the Massena line. Toth is there to flip it ahead to Rupert. Rupert trying to head man, knocked away, gets it back again, flips it just across the blue line. Picked up by Garvey. He banks it ahead to the neutral zone. Rupert again. Poke checked away from him. Devils try to move it ahead. Rupert is there. No, that's Zach Dupree rather. And he'll dump it deep on the backhand. Looks like the Raiders want to change. Devils control the puck. They're going to carry it out of the zone. That's Dan Weirs. Weirs takes it across into the Massena zone. Trying to get by Toth. Takes it in behind the net. Now he's ridden out of the play by Whitcup, and Zach Dupree picks up the loose puck. Trying to center it. And they whip it around the other way to Ryan Ramo. Ramo looks up ice, flips it ahead to neutral zone. Intercepted there by Garvey, right across the Massena line. They want to change as they just turned around. Puck poked free to Toth. He'll start out off wing side. Here's Toth. Looks to headman. Right on Ramo's stick, but it got underneath him. And icing will be the call. It's a perfect pass, and Ramo just couldn't corral it.
Nice pass. You don't mind if they don't corral it. They're doing the right thing. The forward's breaking, and without the puck, and the defenseman's getting them the puck. Nice effort that time by the Raiders. And you mentioned a second ago, fast-paced action in this first period. It's been up and down. Good period of hockey, and 2:12 left in the first period, 1-0 Massena. But up and down, the Raiders have an edge in territorial play up to this point.
Ashley's going to take the face-off against Michaud in the Massena zone after the icing. Off the draw, puck sits in the circle, cleared back to the blue line. Boyer can't keep it in the zone. Here comes Ramo. Ryan Ramo pokes it by the defenseman, but he's taken out of the play as Boyer makes a nice play. Flips it ahead, but not out of the zone. Now the Devils move it out to center ice. Here comes Ogdensburg's Ashley, trying to get by Leduc. Leduc got it in his skate, knocked it into the corner. He takes Ashley into the corner. The puck pokes free to Scott Wilson. Here's Wilson behind the net, circling around, trying to center. It's knocked into the corner, into the slot, and Michaud breaks out of there. Here comes Aaron Michaud. Right down the middle, he's got Ramo with him. Michaud trying to get by the defenseman, takes it in behind the net, had his stick lifted but stays with it. Finally has it taken away there by Wilson. Wilson dumps it down the ice. I don't think it's going to go far enough for icing. Yeah, it does. Just barely crawled. It hit the official on the way down and just barely crawled across the red line as two Devils and Brian Hatch were chasing after it.
And that rush prior to that, that started at the blue line, the Raider defenseman caught a break, that cardinal sin that you don't want to break. Don't play the puck. And he played the puck and he put it to the Ogdensburg forward, put it between his legs. He looked down and around went that Ogdensburg forward. You can't, especially in your own end, make sure you can't play the puck.
McClear will take the face-off against Tubolino. Off the draw, puck in the circle, controlled by the Devils. Moving it to the blue line, kept in by Adam Catanzari, in behind the net. Levine is there. Levine gets tied up, but somehow stays with it. Barges his way through behind on the other side. Takes it back the other way. Here's Levine, short side, and covering up is Bixby with Catanzari on the doorstep. And I'll tell you, Chris Levine, when he has the puck behind the net, it's almost impossible to get it away from him.
He outworked three Ogdensburg players in that play. He, a forward and a defenseman had him pinned in, thought they had him pinned in on the boards behind the net to the right of goaltender Bixby. He out-muscled those two, came behind the net, out-muscled another defenseman, got the puck out in front. Just an excellent individual effort by big Chris Levine, and he's been right on top of his game the last 4 or 5. That line, when they threw that line together, Foster, Catanzari, and Levine, they seemed to click immediately.
Here's Michaud taking the draw. Off the faceoff, wins it to Whitcup. He fired it wide. Puck goes around on the other side. Devils control of the blue line. It bounces out to center ice. Nick Toth picks it up, looks, banks it off the boards to the Ogdensburg line. Right back to Nick Toth at the Massena line. Flips it out. Michaud takes a whack at it. Knocked down by Whitcup to Michaud. Takes it across. Nice headman pass. He gets knocked away. Whitcup has to come back after it. Drops it to the point. Here's Hall's shot. That's wide. And it comes back to the other point. Whitcup is there, shoveling it in the corner. In behind the net, picked up by defenseman Drew Johnson. He banks it off the boards all the way down the ice. That'll go far enough for icing. And the whistle blows with 27 seconds remaining in the first period. On the Corky scoreboard, Raiders have a 1-0 lead on a Ryan Ramo goal.
The Blue Devil defensemen, when they get the puck down low, they're not even trying to go D to D or looking at the middle or trying to rush it. They're under such duress, they're just banging the puck to clear the zone. Good forecheck.
That's been Massena's strength of late, is get it deep and then pressure.
No question. They're really effective when they get it down low.
Off the face-off, Tubolino gets a shot right off the draw, goes into the corner. Missed by quite a lot, but a good attempt as the puck trickles into the corner. Ogdensburg zone, back out to center ice. Brian Hatch shovels it right back in the zone, right back out again. Lau Leduc flips it in the zone. We're down to 10 seconds left in the period. Bouncer comes to the Massena line. Hatch picks it up, flips it ahead for Tubolino, knocked away. With 3 seconds left, it goes behind the net, 2 seconds. That'll take care of the first period right there, as the Raiders will go to the locker ready.
One of those officials is John Simon. I don't know who the other one is, Jerry.
I should know, and I can't think of it. Here comes Michaud trying to barge his way through. Gets by the D. In front, shot, save. Rebound cleared into the corner. Whitcup steals it. Here's Whitcup to Michaud. In the circle. His shot right across the goal mouth. Back to Hall at the point. He pinches in, keeps it in the corner. It's flipped around by Drew Johnson. Out to the blue line. Keeping it in is Michaud for a moment, but now it's poke checked out to center ice. And the Devils dump it in the Massena zone. Hall is there, picks it up, flips it ahead to the blue line, poked out to center ice. Picked up by Johnson again. He'll flip on the other side. Comes to the Massena line. Nick Toth flips it right back. Intercepted there by Boyer. Back into the Massena zone it goes. So the Raiders coming right off the opening face-off and go in with a couple of good opportunities. Here come the Raiders moving it ahead to the blue line, out to center ice just barely. Right back in the Massena zone. In behind the net, Toth will pick it up. Flips it off the glass, around the boards, not out, kept in at the point by Dan Weirs, who just came across the boards. Around on the other side, Morley. He and Toth go together. Morley trying to come up with it. Toth steals it away. He'll skate it ahead. Looks to headman, Catanzari. Adam, just flip pass all the way down the ice into Ogdensburg territory where Levine gathers it in. Levine right across the goal mouth, but it's cleared by the defenseman. Back to the point. Hatch pinches in, flips it in behind the net. Picked up there and flipped around. Takes a funny bounce into the circle. Tubolino trying to knock it down, can't do it, and the puck trickles out to center ice, where Aaron Leduc picks it up from the red line, right back in Ogdensburg territory. In the corner it goes, in behind the net, inside of the net, and Bixby is going to cover up before any further damage can be done. 13:24 left, middle period, 1-0 Massena on the Tompo State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
Aaron Michaud right off the draw. The Raiders, the puck was dropped. Massena gained possession down his off wing on that right side, and he went right around number 22. That's Eric Boyer, their fine defenseman. Cut in and went to the net, got a good shot off, but Andy Bixby, again, stayed on the short side, didn't give him anything and made the save, but an excellent move by Aaron Michaud.
Derek Rupert will take the face-off now for Massena in the Ogdensburg zone. Off the draw, Raiders win it to McDonald. Back to the point, Hatch. He'll flip it back in the corner for McDonald. Goes in behind the net to Aaron Ramo. Ramo trying to step by a check, has it knocked away. Comes to the blue line and out to center ice, where it'll be Brian Hatch. Hatch flipping it ahead to McDonald. He can't gather it in. Here come the Devils to the Massena line and across. It's Johnson. He can move, but that time he lost it. The bouncing puck off the end of his stick, and it's cleared back to center ice. Johnson comes back after, turns around, flips to the Massena line, goes by everybody. Aaron Leduc shovels it back out to center ice. McDonald can't gather it. Johnson's there to dump in the Massena zone. Right back it comes, not out of the zone. Here's the pass, but it's knocked away. And it comes to Hatch behind his own net. He'll go to Leduc on the left side, gets it back again. Hatch circles. Around the boards it goes. Ramo, Rupert trying to flip it out, can't quite clear the zone. Back into the corner it goes. Hatch flipping it around for Leduc. Up it goes to McDonald, knocked away from him. In the corner, Devils have a man in front. Can he get the puck? No, it's back to the point. Here's a shot. Back to the blue line again. Here's a shot by Weirs through traffic. It's knocked, and that goes way wide. They were looking for a deflection, I believe, and the puck trickles behind the net to Rupert. He looks up ice. He's going to shovel it to the blue line, and it's out to center ice. Back in the zone. It didn't quite make it, did it? Now Leduc flips it out to center ice. Well, should have been it is a high stick. And with a high stick on Ogdensburg, they're going to move it back in the Massena zone?
No, I don't believe so. I think if they do, they'll move it down.
Okay. John still wanted to move it back that way.
Well, I think John didn't make the call. He didn't see it. The other official did, the official that was down low, and he finally corrected Mr. Simons where the face-off should be. Good pressure that time by the Blue Devils, as they had the Raiders penned in their own end, and Massena on a couple occasions had a chance to get it out and just failed to execute.
Squandered those chances.
Yeah.
Whitkup's line out there off the draw. Puck bounces in the circle. Ramo trying to barge his way through. Again, a little weak shot on, but this time Bixby is equal to the task.
They don't care if they break a pane of glass or not. If they can find an opening, they all count. And Ryan Ramos, we mentioned, has that Massena goal. Couldn't break a pane of glass, but it got through the goaltender. That's the main thing.
Off the faceoff, Devils try to clear. Whitcup steps in front of the pass, takes it back to the 45, dumps it behind the net. Michaud steered out of the play. It comes to Dan Weirs, rips it around the boards, knocked down. Devils look to move it and do. Down the ice it goes, not far enough for icing. Toth will have to come back after it. He flips it to Hall on the other side. Brandon gets tied up, has it taken away. Here's a chance for the Devils in front, but Whitcup back checking, knocks that one away. And Toth lugs it out of the zone. Here's Nick Toth, headman to Ramo, bounced off his stick into the Ogdensburg zone, back to the blue line. Kept in, I think. Yep, it is. Ramo almost has it. Knocked back to center ice. This time it's the layoff sides as the Blue Devils will clear it to the Massena line, and across it goes. Here's a shot that's wide. Ramo looking for it, can't come up with it. It's dumped right back in behind the net where Nick Toth gathers it. Toth flips it around the boards for Ryan Ramo. Ramo headman pass right on the stick of Whitcup. Whitcup busting down the right wing side, takes it by one, trying to flip it through the middle, and he wants off as that line will come off, and the Devils trying to break back the other way on the change, and it goes into the Massena zone. Leduc after it. Leduc barging in there along with Ashley. The puck poked around the boards to Adam Catanzari. He'll start it out. Here's Catanzari. He's got Levine breaking. Oh, nice poke check by the defenseman Drew Johnson. Johnson comes back the other way. He's taken out, ran into the official actually, lost his stick. The puck comes out to the blue line, trickles to center ice. That had to hurt a little bit.
Hardest check of the night.
Now the puck to the Massena line and just trickles across where Leduc picks it up, flips it ahead. Did he clear it? No, he didn't clear the zone. Hatch will have to follow. Hatch on the wing trying to move it ahead, but it's intercepted there by Scott Wilson, and he'll dump it deep. That'll be an icing, rather, against the Devils with 10:02 left in the second period, and a 1-0 Massena lead on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
Played 5 minutes minus 2 seconds in this second period, and the Devils have come out really smoking, have controlled the play in this early going. Massena's got to get back on track. Good defensive move by Robbie Whitcup, who saved an excellent scoring opportunity against Corey McClear as the Raiders turn it over deep in their own end, and McClear just ready to trigger one, and Robbie Whitcup flattened him.
Michaud will take the face-off. Off the draw, trickles right in, and Bixby will hold on for the face-off again.
You mentioned after tonight, the Raiders about 9 days of inactivity before they head down to Rome on the 25th of the month.
Face off left side again. This time Whitcup to Michaud, quick shot goes in behind the net as he tried to barge his way through. Didn't have much to shoot at, and the Devils control it. Here comes Ogdensburg into the Massena zone. Head man pass in the zone goes to Wilson. Wilson drops it back to the point to Johnson. He's got room. His shot, save. Where is it? Still free. Goes in behind the net. I don't know how that one stayed out, but it did. And the Raiders are going to clear it down the ice, and that will go far enough for icing, and the faceoff will move back in the Massena zone. Big opportunity, and Dusty must have got a piece of it, I guess.
Devils gain possession in the corner to the left of Dusty DeLille, and the Raiders failing to cover the points. They're all collapsing down low, and Ogdensburg threw it back to the point, and Drew Johnson cranked one up, and it either hit Scott Wilson or Nick Pisani, who redirected in front. And I don't know how Dusty made the save. I thought it was going through the 5-hole, but somehow he came up with a big save. Big save. Raiders caught a break there.
It's going to be Rupert out there to take the face-off now against Morley. Rupert wins it to Leduc. Leduc flipping it to the 45. Zach Dupree knocked away. Back in the corner it goes. Leduc can't control. Here's a shot. It's blocked. Bounces in behind the net. Rupert again over skates. It's Toth, though. He'll rip it around on the other side for Ramo. Aaron Ramo ahead to Rupert. Rupert manages to get it out to center ice where it's dumped right back in the Massena zone. In behind the net. Picked up by Leduc. He'll flip it ahead to the blue line. Aaron Ramo. Ramo for Zach Dupree. Dupree just backhands it deep in Ogdensburg territory. In behind the net. Bixby clears it around the boards to the blue line. Kept in by Toth. He flips it right back in the corner. Comes right back to the point. This time it's not going to stay in the zone. It comes on the wing for Mike Ashley. Ashley just dumps it and takes a hit from Dupree. Puck side of the net. Aaron Leduc with it. Leduc lifts it. Knocked in, kept in the zone. He'll get it back again. This time he'll flip it out to center ice. And it trickles back in Ogdensburg territory. Mike Garvey as the Raiders make a change. Ogdensburg trying to catch Massena on the change. They don't this time. And it comes to Levine. Levine dumps it deep in Ogdensburg territory. Dan Weir's after it. Levine chases in with Tubolino. The puck squirts to Levine, trying to poke it back to the point to Brian Hatch. Hatch centers it. It comes to Levine again, turns it around in front. Catanzari to Tubolino in behind. Goes to Levine behind the net. He tries to barge his way through in front. Catanzari knocks it behind the net. Puck clear to the glass. To the blue line, out to center ice. Hatch didn't keep it in, and offsides will be the call. He almost did, but not quite.
The Blue Devil defenseman, number 14 out there, Mike Garvey, got away with one, but a smart move. I think it was Adam Catanzari out in front, just ready to trigger it, and Garvey just upended him. But again, is going to the player's box, not the penalty box. That would have been a good penalty, even if it had been called.
It will be Tubolino facing off against Wilson. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner, behind the net, Johnson with it. Good looking defenseman. His pass goes down the ice, but that's going to be icing against the Devils, and not Johnson's fault that time. The forward just didn't catch it.
Raiders, as we mentioned, I'm sure the coaching staff kind of prodding him over there, encouraging him. Let's get back. What do we got? Oh, the referee, did he fall again?
Almost. Caught himself.
I tell you, he took the hardest check of the night. I think Drew Johnson caught him on that far side. He just couldn't get out of the way. Johnson went barging down that left side and just bowled him over. I'm not laughing because I know how that hurts, but it was kind of funny.
Tubolino against Wilson off the draw. Puck sits in the circle, and the Devils will clear out of the zone. Here comes a long headman pass. It's going to trickle in on DeLille. He'll steer it into the corner. In behind the net, Devils control. Where is it? Picked up by Massena. Tubolino moves it, but not out of the zone. It comes off a stick to Hatch. Hatch headman. Tubolino, or I should say Catanzarite, lets it go by all the way down the ice to wave the icing off. Picked up by Johnson. Flips, doesn't get it out of the zone. Michaud in behind the net for Tubolino, who wants off, but it comes to Michaud. Michaud looking for Whitcup right across the goal mouth. Whitcup chases it in the corner, circles, lost his edge, lost the puck, and the Devils move it out of there. They've been out a long time too. It comes to Hatch. Hatch just gets upended. The puck trickles in the zone to lay off sides. Raiders clear it, dump right back in, right back out again. Comes to Michaud. Michaud, headman, nice pass to Whitcup. Here comes Whitcup in on the off wing. One-on-one, turns it. Nice turnaround. Whitcup centering pass in front. Ramo, oh, he missed by an inch. Great play by Whitcup. Back to the blue line. Devils are going to control. They move it out to center ice. Leduc is there. He'll dump it right back in Ogdensburg territory. In behind the net is Drew Johnson, picking it up, ripping it around the boards. Stepping in front of it is Toth. Toth centers it in front. Michaud, pass to Whitcup, turns it around, and he couldn't turn it around as the defenseman had him too well tied up. I think it was Boyer, and holds on, and Whitcup can't get the shot as it trickles in on Bixby.
Just prior to that, as you call, a great scoring opportunity by Ryan Ramo. A nice little tic-tac-toe play. Robbie Whitcup finalizing it with a behind-the-back seeing eye pass, and Ramo going to the net late without the puck was left unguarded, and he rolled a backhander just wide of the far post by an inch or two.
Face-off, Michaud wins the draw to Whitcup, cranks it up, it's blocked, sits in the circle, and it's poke check back out to center ice. Whitcup could see it, but he couldn't get to it. Comes back to Nick Toth, takes it in behind his own net, turns around, kicks it free to Leduc. Leduc around the boards, intercepted. And Whitcup has to come back to Leduc, back to Whitcup. Whitcup rips it around the boards for Rupert. Back to Whitcup, and he'll break it out of the zone. Headman pass, Ramo, knocked away. Ramo comes up with it anyway, flips it ahead, but it's intercepted. Comes to the Massena line, where Aaron Leduc will gather it in. Here's Leduc. Headman pass to Aaron Ramo. Ramo chasing in after it. Picks it up behind the net. He's ridden heavily into the boards. Puck comes back to the 45, to the blue line. Ooh, just trickled out to center ice. Here come the Devils to the Massena line. They'll dump it deep, and they want to make a change. Puck stop behind the net. Goes to Brian Hatch. Hatch looking for Ramo. Ramo makes a nice little move. Has it knocked away, though. Now Leduc flips it ahead to center ice McDonald. McDonald to Aaron Ramo. He's knocked off the puck. Stays with it, though, but taking it away is Eric Boyer. Boyer loses it behind the net. Here's Rupert with it. Trying to center, but it's taken away from him by Corey McClear. And back come the Devils the other way. Ryan Morley, still 1-0 Massena. Morley barging past. He's taken out of the play. Puck comes to Hatch. Hatch loses it, side of the net. They got a man in front, and the puck squirts away to the blue line out to center ice. And it goes off Drew Johnson all the way down the ice, but no call, of course, because it went off him. Now the puck in behind the net. Still 1-0 Massena. Ogdensburg moves it out to center ice. Hall is there to flip it back in the zone. Right back out again. Here comes Johnson. Johnson has it taken away by Hall. Puck goes in behind the net, and around the boards it goes. Scott Wilson in the corner. Tubolino just looking to take him out of the play, but he escapes. Wilson turns the other way, flips it back toward the point. Kept in at the point, shot. Dusty steers that one aside from long range. Hall in the corner, trying to flip it to Tubolino. Tubolino has it taken away, comes back to the point. Here's a shot through traffic, that's wide. Comes around the other point, kept in at the point. In the corner, Tubolino throws a check. The puck comes to Hatch. He'll wrap it around the other way. Levine trying to move it out to center ice. Here's a shot deflected. Ooh, just in behind the net. Bouncing puck in the corner. Devils control to the blue line. Here's a shot from the point. It's blocked and out to center ice as Adam Catanzarite gets a coach's reward for giving up the body. Devils putting on some pressure there. Puck in the neutral zone. Tubolino can't control it. It's intercepted by Ashley. He'll dump it deep in Massena territory. Brian Hatch in behind the net. Hatch flips on the wing. They try to move it out to center ice. Catanzarite throws another check. The puck in the corner. They center it. We have a whistle, and we got a hand pass. A lot of Contact out there, though.
Oh, I'll tell you, Adam Katanzaric just flattened again Dan Weirs, who stepped down from the point and ran into a immovable object. But I'll tell you, the Raiders better get their act together or they're going to be tied up shortly. The Devils have been dominating this period, and a couple of good saves by Dusty DeLille and a couple of redirects that have just missed the post. So Massena stopped hitting. They're playing a non-contact sport this period.
Except right there.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Off the face-off, Ramo with it, trying to flip it ahead to Whitcup. Whitcup from the red line, trying to barge his way through, gets knocked down, takes a whack at it. It's still outside. No, it's back in the zone, back out. Nick Toth is there, looking for the open wing. Dumps it in the corner, intercepted by Weirs. He'll rip it around the boards. Comes back toward the blue line, stolen by Toth, who pinches in. Back in the corner it goes, Garvey. Ripping it around the board, stolen by Michaud. Michaud to Ramo, knocked away from him. Comes out to Leduc at the point. Can he keep it in? Apparently not. And the puck's out to the neutral zone. Whitcup back after it. Here's Whitcup to Michaud. Michaud has it roll off his stick. Flipped ahead to the neutral zone again, where Whitcup picks it up. Here's Whitcup trying to barge his way through to Michaud. Michaud gathers it in, gets a shot off. Whoa! Bixby had looked a little shaky on that one. Here's Whitcup flipping it in the corner. And it's ripped around the boards by the Devils. Comes out to Toth at the point. Here's a backhand pass into the corner, right side of the goalie. In behind the net, Michaud. Michaud barges his way in there, has it knocked away by Weirs. There's a pile, and the whistle will blow, and we'll have a face-off. Little pushing and shoving after the whistle. And I think he's going to run them both.
I think it's Dan Weirs and Aaron Michaud down in the corner. Only 2 penalties up to this point, and I didn't want to say anything because these two clubs, when they hook up, there's usually some fireworks. Last year they averaged in the 2 games.
No, he's not going to call.
Not going to call him. Well, that's good.
That's a good non-call, I think.
Non-call, letting them play. But these two clubs usually generate a lot of penalty minutes. But tonight, only a penalty apiece in that first period.
2:15 left in the second period. Raiders lead 1-0 on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, but it's a tenuous lead at this point.
Yeah, they've just got off their game plan, not doing what was so successful, and I guess you got to give Ogdensburg a lot of credit to them for preventing them getting there and forechecking.
Off the draw, puck comes Katanzaric. His shot is blocked. Where is it? And it's in the equipment of Scott Wilson, and the whistle will blow, and they'll move the face-off back in Ogdensburg territory.
Yeah, they were battling for it. I think it might have rolled up the pant leg, Jerry, when puck deflected, and Wilson trying to clear the zone, either up in his jersey or in the bottom of his pants, but they were whacking away, and there was nothing there to to hit.
Face-off just inside Ogdensburg territory. Rupert will take the draw. Rupert against Wilson off the face-off. Puck comes right across along the blue line. Ramo is there. That's Aaron Ramo dumping it in behind for Adam Katanzaric. He'll flip it along the boards, but it's going to be intercepted. Devils break out of there. They got the head man. It's Ashley. Ashley trying to get by Toth. He gets a shot off, and Dusty gloves it and holds on. As Toth had him, but Ashley managed to get a shot off anyway. And I think there might be a penalty on that.
Might call Nick for holding. He had the stick up underneath the armpits as John Ashley, coming down that left side, got half a step on him and was going to get around him, and Nick put the clutch on him. So the Devils going to go on the power play. This will be the first power play of the game.
Yes, it will. So Massena looking to kill the penalty here, leading 1-0 on the scoreboard, the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Whitcup and Michaud coming out there. Leduc stays out there.
The coaching staff can't wait to get him into the locker room to just tinker with this adjustment. It's
off the face-off. Here's a shot. Save made. That came right back to Weirs in the trigger position. He got the shot right off, but right at Dusty.
Sometimes you can go out and play a great first period and dominate and come back out and just look completely befuddled, and that's what happened to the Raiders here in the second period.
Off the face-off, puck in the circle. Michaud comes up with it and flips it out to center ice. Weirs almost lost it, but manages to hold on to Johnson, and back across it goes Wilson. Here's Wilson in the corner, in behind the net. Leduc gets just enough of it to force him wide. He'll go all the way back to the point again. Gets the 45, the shot is blocked. Whitcup sweep checks it down the ice. And coming out to play it is Andy Bixby. He's going to leave it for his defenseman, Danny Weirs. Weirs stops behind his net. Headman pass. Out to center ice it goes. To the Massena line. Hatch has it poke checked by him. He and the Devil player collide and is picked up by Leduc. Leduc has it swept away, gets it back again somehow, clears it back to the blue line but not out. Puck dumped in the corner, controlled by the Devils. They take it in behind the net. And around the boards it goes. That's Ashley back to the point. Gets it right back again at the 45. Lines up, shot, fired it wide. Puck whips back to the other point. Danny Weirs with it. He'll flip it to the open wing, but it's stolen away by Hatch, and Hatch doesn't clear the zone. Back around on the other side. 15 seconds left in the man advantage. The puck picked up by Leduc. Leduc loses it to the Devils. They move it back to the point. Here's a shot blocked. Goes off a couple of legs to the other point, kept in there. In the corner it goes. In behind the net, the penalty as he laughed. The Devils have it in front and fired just wide. That was Mike Ashley. Ashley behind the net. Here's a chance in front. Leduc blocks that one. Back to the point. Here's a shot, and it doesn't get through, and Toth will pick it up and move it out. 7 seconds left. Headman pass off Ramo's stick. Chases it down. Coming out of the net to clear it ahead with 1 second left is... I imagine he's from the Salmon River area as well, along with Bobby Simons. Off the face-off, puck at the red line. Devils will dump it deep in Massena territory. Brandon Hall after it behind the net. Hall takes a whack at it. Comes to Whitcup, and he'll start it out. Whitcup bounce pass right on. Oh, Michaud had it, then gets it back and dumps it right on. And I'll tell you, Bixby was thinking about maybe not covering up, but Michaud went right for the net, so he decided I better do it. Holds on for the face-off.
Nice pass by Robbie Whitcup, gained control at the dot, and Aaron Michaud breaking up that left side. In between the two of them was a Blue Devil defender, and Robbie just banked it off the boards. If Aaron controls that, he might be in free.
Whitcup takes the face-off, wins the draw to Michaud, bouncing around in front. Whitcup shot right on. Oh boy, Whitcup got a piece of the bouncer, but right at Bixby. He holds on for the face-off.
Right off the draw, the puck was bouncing, and it continued to bounce, and it bounced over the defender's stick, and then Robbie Whitcup, it wouldn't sit down for him. He went to shoot it, and he fanned on it.
Off the face-off, Whitcup wins the draw to Michaud, trying to throw it out, but it's intercepted, and here comes Ogdensburg, 2-on-1. They take it across. Here's a shot, but they fire it wide. Comes around to Ramo. He bounces it out to center ice to Whitcup. Whitcup has it poked away. Tries to follow it in the zone. He and Johnson go back after it, and they both get tied up. Whitcup comes away with it, flips it along the boards, but it's intercepted to the blue line. Here's a shot by Toth. Gives up the rebound. Ramo goes to the forehand. Can't get the shot off. Goes back to Whitcup to Ramo. Ramo has it poked away, and the puck clear to the blue line. Toth keeps it in. Toth flipping it to Michaud. Centering pass, shot, score! Oh boy, what a beauty! Robbie Whitcup gets the goal, and the Raiders take a 2-0 lead. Tic-tac-toe.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty. Robbie Whitcup finishing off a great pass from Aaron Michaud from Nick Toth. Puck came back to high at the point. Nick Toth was able to keep it in. Just a little short backhanded pass to Aaron Michaud down at the about the top of the circle. No, a little higher than that. And he turned around and just threw a pass through the slot area. And Robbie Whitcup one-timed it off the goal post in behind Andy Bixby, and the Raiders have taken a 2-0 lead.
So Whitcup gets the second goal for the Massena Red Raiders. And Tubolino will take the face-off. Catanzarite goes to Levine. Levine picks it up and dumps it deep. Ogdensburg territory. In behind the net, ripped around the boards by the defenseman. Hatch pinches in, trying to keep it in the zone. Where's the puck? In the corner. Picked up on the defense again by the Devils. They try to move it around. It's Morley. Morley loses to Catanzarite. To Levine in behind. Here's Levine. Catanzarite wrap around in front. And Tubolino couldn't get the shot off. Back to the point. Hatch! Oh, he just missed. Tubolino picks it up off the side. Wrap around attempt. And covering up is Bixby. Wow. 13-19 left in the third period. Raiders have taken a 2-0 lead and are really putting on the pressure here.
That official time of that goal coming at the 1:07 mark. Robbie Whitcup with Nick Toth and Ryan Ramo picking up the assist.
Was it Ramo or Michaud?
I thought it was Michaud, but we've got...
It was Michaud. They may have to change it. Off the face-off, the bouncer goes in behind the net. Mike Garvey rips it around the boards. Hatch keeps it in. Goes to Tubolino in the corner. He bumps McClear. The puck squirts free, and the Devils come up with it. Headman pass to center ice. Leduc is there to flip it ahead. Catanzari just lets it go by for Levine. Here's Levine, draws a crowd, and the puck knocked away from him. Around the boards it goes to Hatch at the point. Can he keep it in? He does. Flips it in behind the net. It goes to Weirs. Weirs will flip it around the other way. Leduc throws a check. Catanzari flips it in the corner. Puck in behind. Levine throws a check. They battle for it there. And finally, the Devils move it along the boards, and they're going to tie it up, apparently. Chris Levine and two Blue Devils tied up along the boards, and we'll have a face-off in Ogdensburg territory. Raiders have taken a 2-0 lead on the Robbie Whitcup goal. We have 12:35 left in the period on the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard.
And that his team leading ninth goal of the year, Captain Robbie Whitcup, Nick Toth, and Aaron Michaud on the assist. Just a real pretty play.
Rupert off the face-off, trying to go to Zach Dupree, who slides it across in front of the net. Could have been a penalty there, but it isn't. And the puck trickles out to center ice. Devils move it into the Massena zone. Here comes Wilson in behind the net. Wilson gets by Toth, tries to move it back to the point. Here's a drive. The save made the rebound in front, but it's clear to the blue line. Out to center. No, it doesn't bounce to center ice. Goes to an open wing. Rupert will pick it up, flip it on the glass, and it bounces out to center ice and back in for the offside. And again, a good chance for the Berg that time, coming back the other way. But I don't think that one got through.
As Jerry said, could have been a penalty on that. Number 22, Eric Boyer, just about decapitated young Aaron Ramo in front of the net as he just pitchforked him. And,
these guys
right on the
really
play.
aren't calling much of anything, are they?
No, they're not.
Off the face-off, puck comes back to the Ogdensburg line. Devils control. Move it to the red line, poked away. Rupert trying to come up with it. He won't as Wilson comes back to help. Doesn't clear the zone. Here's Zach Dupree in front to Rupert. Rupert can't get the shot off. He lost it off the end of his stick. He was in a great spot too. But here come the Devils dumping it back and dumping it too far as icing is the call.
Yeah, just a young mistake, young Mr. Rupert, a sophomore mistake. Boy, he got that pass in the slot. He's got to be looking to trigger that puck right there, 20 feet out. Just a great pass by, I think it was
Zach Dupree.
Zach Dupree put it on his stick, and young Mr. Rupert's looking to pass, but you got to shoot that puck.
Robbie Whitcup back out there. He'll face off against Tyler Richards. Off the face-off. Puck controlled by the Devils. In behind the net, it's Mike Garvey to the blue line, not out of the net, trickles out the center ice. Michaud gathers it in, dumps it off the glass. Took a funny bounce right to Whitcup, and he'll dump it into the corner. Ramo makes a nice poke check, bounces into the corner. Michaud after it, taken out of the play. Richard behind his net, moves it to the glass, to the blue line. Here's Hatch shot, and he hit somebody, but it goes to Michaud, takes it by the D. Here's Michaud, and he fired it high and wide. He was all by himself in front of the net and had the open corner to shoot at and just missed it by a little bit. Puck in the corner. Michaud gets tied up. He lost his stick. Gets the stick back. Gets the puck back. In behind, but it's taken away finally. And the Devils look to move it out, and it trickles to center ice. Here comes Pearson. He'll dump it deep as the Devils want to change. And coming up with it is Brian Hatch. Hatch, headman pass. Ramo can't catch it. Comes back to the Ogdensburg line. Raiders will make a change here. Ogdensburg looking to try to catch him on it, but they shoot it from center ice, and the save is made from long range by Dusty DeLille. Levine clears it ahead to Tubolino, knocked away from him. Bodies are flying. The puck comes free to Drew Johnson to the Massena line. Leduc flips it, doesn't clear the zone. Dumped in behind the net. It'll come around to Chris Levine again. Here's Levine, tied up along the boards, goes to Nick Toth. Toth is waiting for him. Now he lugs it out to center ice. Headman, Adam Catanzari. He'll dump it deep in Ogdensburg territory. In behind the net. Big collision there. Puck rips around the boards. And in behind the net it goes again. Taking it is Johnson. I've been impressed with him. He's a good hockey player. That time he's ridden out of the play. The puck squirts free into the circle and out to center ice. Here comes Johnson. Stick handling into the Massena zone. Trying to get by Toth. He hit the goalpost. Back to the blue line. Dusty makes a save on the rebound. Got a nice backhander off that hit maybe the goalpost and the crossbar.
Guy, you were just talking about Drew Johnson from his defensive position. Good rush down that left side and walked right around the Raider defenseman. Got a backhander off, and it did. It hit the crossbar first, Jerry. Might have gone down and hit the goalpost. Raiders caught a break there. Nice offensive move, individual move by number 8, Drew Johnson.
Face off in the Massena zone. And it'll be Whitcup taking the draw against Wilson. 9:43 remaining in the third period. Raiders lead 2-0 on the Snyder, and Snyder turns it off the scoreboard. Here's a shot from the point. Hit bodies and goes into the corner. Dusty was ready to make the save, but it didn't get through. Here's another shot from the point, off a stick into the corner. Here's another shot right across the goal mouth on the bouncer as the Devils putting some pressure on. Puck goes into the corner to the blue line. Shot, Dusty makes the save. Puck bouncing free, back to the point. Ramo, poke checks it to center ice. He's got Michaud, nice head man. Here's Michaud busting in. Takes it around to Whitcup, intercepted. And the Massena forward, who headmanned, then didn't go to the net. He had a chance, and he would have gotten the return feed.
Go to the net without the puck.
Raiders move it back out to center ice. Michaud, headman pass Ramo, trying to barge his way through. Lost it off the end of his stick, out to center ice. Brian Hatch, he'll go across. Leduc to Ramo. Ramo trying to slide it through. It's knocked away at the blue line. Delay offsides. The puck comes out. Knocked down with a high stick, but I think Massena will touch it first. They do. Leduc doesn't clear the zone, but it's out to center ice off his stick. And the puck dumped in. Devils have to make an onside, and the Raiders pick it up. Hatch flipping it ahead. Out to center ice. Drew Johnson. He looks to dump it back in the Massena zone. In behind the net. Leduc doesn't come up with it. Coming back, though, is Aaron Ramo. Ramo gets bodied out of the play. Now Leduc is in to help out. They tie it up, and the whistle blows, and we'll have a face-off in Massena territory with 8:11 left in the third period, and a 2-0 Massena lead on the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard.
And this is the time of the game with the 2-0 lead in the third period. You start thinking defensive hockey. I mean, not getting three guys caught deep, at least having three back, and just sending two forwards down low.
Face off. Won by the Berg. The shot. Save made. DeLeo lost the rebound, but Brandon Hall picks it up, steers it around behind the net. Rupert trying to flip it out. Doesn't clear the zone. Here's a shot blocked by Ramo. Puck comes to Hall. Picks up the loose puck. Flips it ahead out to the neutral zone. That was Aaron Ramo. What a great block shot that was. Here come the Devils. Right across it goes, but the Raiders intercept Brandon Hall. I tell you what, that kid's got a long reach, doesn't he? Rupert takes it across. Almost got by. Poked back to the blue line. Kept in there by McDonald. Circles. Centering pass goes off a couple of legs, and the Devils will dump it down the ice. And I think that'll go. No, they wave the icing off as Nick Toth kind of nonchalanted it. Back goes to Ramo out to center ice. Trying to get the return pass. Backhands it in Ogdensburg territory. Here come the Devils to the Massena line. Intercepted. Back comes Tubolino the other way. Throws a check. Can't come up with a puck, though. Devils move it back inside Massena territory. Headman pass goes into the corner. Picked up by the Devils. Wilson, centering pass. Toth steers it into the corner to Levine. Toth throws a check. Levine trying to move it ahead. He gets tied up. The puck is in his skates. He can't come up with it. They poke it free to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's a shot knocked down in the circle. Comes to Catanzarite. He'll bang it off the glass to the Ogdensburg line. Bounces back to the Massena line. They try to poke it ahead, but it's intercepted. Here comes Levine the other way. Dumping it deep. Catanzarite just made another nice play, didn't he? Puck around the boards. And in the zone, Leduc keeps it in momentarily. Now comes to the Massena line. Hatch dumps to an open wing. Catanzarite knocks it away. Comes to Leduc. To Tubolino. Tubolino busts his way in. Right side shot. Score! Tubolino right through the 5-hole. And the Raiders take a 3-0 lead with 6:14 left in the third period.
Young Nick Tubolino getting a big one. He just wanted to put the puck on net. It was basically a 2-on-3. He was coming down that right side, just about the top of the circle, and really stretched out. His line mate on the far side was covered by two blue shirts, so he just directed it towards the net. And young Mr. Bixby, that we talk so much about, has been such a pillar of strength for this Ogdensburg club. Really fan on that one. Kicked out the right leg, caught the inside of the pad, and went right between the legs. And that's a big, big goal. Nick Tubolino picking it up, and we'll see if there's an assist on that.
He'd like to have that one back, I bet.
Oh, he certainly would.
Off the face-off, here comes Michaud. Takes it across. His shot knocked away. Into the corner it goes. Leduc, I think, will pick up the assist. Whitcup, has it stolen away, comes back out to the center ice. Devils will dump it in the Massena zone. Hall going after it, but DeLeo clears it around the boards for Michaud. He just flips it out to center ice. Dumps to the Ogdensburg line. Picked up by Boyer. His head man knocked away to the Massena line. Michaud and Whitcup kind of collide. Michaud comes up with a puck. Takes it by one. Here's Michaud, 1-on-3. Now Ramo joins the fight. Michaud turns it, winds it, shot right on. Bixby holds on. And I guess that's a good idea. You know, the goaltender gives up a softie, get another shot on him right away.
If you're unsure at any time, direct the puck towards the net because only good things could happen. And it certainly worked out that way for Nick Tobolino getting his first of the year, and that's a big one. That we always say the 2-goal lead's the toughest one to protect. But Nick Tobolino and Aaron Leduc picking up the assist, coming at the 8:46 mark, put the Raiders up by 3.
3-0 Massena leads on the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard. Rupert out there to take the draw for Massena. Off the faceoff, puck sits in the circle. Ramo comes up with it, gets a shot off. Nice save. The puck in the corner. Back to the point. Here's Leduc's shot. High in the air, into the corner it goes. Zach Dupree after it, trying to sweep it. It's knocked away to the blue line. Stolen in front. Here's Ramo. Ramo trying to get the shot off. Gets it back again. Flips it free. It trickles right on. And coming up with it is Andy Bixby, and he'll hold on for the face-off. I think he had Zach Dupree right in his face that time.
We were talking a second ago about thinking about defense and not having anybody down low. Just after I said that, the Raider defenseman rushed up the ice. He not only stayed up, rushed up the ice, he stayed up inside. Sure, there were 2 guys back, but one was a forward, and you want to have defensemen back there at this stage of the game.
Off the face-off in the circle. Ramo gets a shot, but it's wide. Goes in behind the net. Picked up by Garvey, rips it around the boards. Dupree trying to keep it in the zone. He does, back to the point. Hatch gets a weak shot, knocked down in front, and the Devils move it. They got a man breaking. I think they got a piece of it, so no icing. Yeah, they waved the icing off. Under 5 in the third. Hatch with it, rips it around the boards. And Raiders move it up to middle. Dupree banks it off a leg, follows it himself in the corner. Centering pass, nice sprawling check by the defenseman, breaking it up. But Ramo follows, takes it in the corner. Back to the point, Leduc. Leduc winds up, his shot is blocked. He stays with it, and it bounces off his stick up into the stands. With 4.5 left in the third period, Raiders lead 3-0 on the Snyder and Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard.
That third goal might have taken a bit of the wind out of the Blue Devils' sails here. They were really in that hockey game, only trailing by 2, and were carrying the play. But that third goal, Nick Tobolino, his first of the year, is kind of just giving a little added insurance for the Raiders, and they got to just kill off 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they pick up this all-important win here.
Tobolino will take the face-off. Face-off right side. Off the draw, comes back to the point. Hall shot, fired it wide. Devils look to move it out to center ice. Here comes Ogdensburg. Toth trying to take his man out of the play. Puck goes in behind the net. They battle for it there, and the puck whips back to the point. Here's a shot, and Dusty kicks it. I'm not sure if it was on or not, but it was, okay.
I thought from this angle here, that was labeled for that far corner. And one thing the Devils have done in this game has been very effective.
Points.
Use the points,
Yep.
Jerry. They've done it effectively, much more so than the Raiders. And the Raiders have a tendency to pinch down low, crowd everybody down low, and the Devils using those points effectively.
Face off right side in the Massena zone. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner to Toth. He'll flip it on the wing. Adam Catanzari ahead to Tubolino, back to Catanzari. He trying to flip it through to Tubolino. Goes off to Tubolino or to Catanzari, trying to drop it back to Tubolino. And you know, it didn't look like anybody wanted that puck. Now it's Hall with it. He'll just dump it deep in Ogdensburg territory. Bounces in behind the net and sits there, picking it up. Oh, Levine right across the goal mouth. He's actually pretty good at that. Now the puck tied up. Catanzari trying to go to Levine, takes it off the puck board. In front, the shot, Tubolino, and I think somebody made a save, either a defenseman or goaltender Bixby, but it was a beauty.
It was the goaltender, I do believe, Andy Bixby, and what a great play by Chris Levine as he set up Nick Tobolino. Levine outworked a couple of guys behind the net.
How often have you said that?
Oh, many, many times, Ben. Nick Tobolino went to the net without the puck and was rewarded, but just a super save by Andy Bixby. But, and you know, talk about stepping up. We've all talked about the injuries and the problems Massena had with missing players. Nick Tobolino steps up, got a big goal tonight, got that third goal. How important is that?
Whitcup takes the face-off, top of the circle, Ogdensburg zone, off the draw. Comes to Ramo out by the blue line. Trying to flip it to Michaud, knocked away. Gets it right back again. He gets tied up. And where is it? Whitcup to Michaud in the corner. Michaud looks back to the point. Here's Leduc, shot deflected. Oh, right on, what a save. Robbie Whitcup gets the deflection on a nice low shot by Aaron Leduc. And again, a big save by Bixby.
Nice work by the Raiders. Nice work by Aaron Michaud, who used his points that time. The Raiders been guilty of not using them, but got the puck in the corner. No one covering that left point. Got it back to Aaron Leduc. He took the shot, and Robbie Whitcup in the slot redirected it just like the way you draw it up. But a big save by Andy Bixby. But he's
nice
coming
save.
Up big, but it might be a little too late.
Nice save. Really, 2 big saves in a row. Off the face-off, puck in the circle. Michaud's shot is blocked. If the defenseman tried to put a glove on it, bounces to the blue line and out to center ice. Brian Hatch with it. Turns it back the other way to Whitcup. Whitcup flips it to the red line. Bounces to the Massena line. They try to move it across, but Whitcup steals it. Goes to Ramo. Ramo to Michaud. He'll dump. As the Raiders, I thought they're going to get a line change. Not the case as the puck goes around the boards. In the corner, Whitcup. I'll tell you, he is just relentless in there, isn't he?
He's a dynamo, just moving all the time.
Now the puck out to center ice. Michaud flipping it ahead. Raiders lead 3-0. About 2.5 left. Across the blue line it goes into the Massena zone. In behind the net, Michaud looks, dumps it out to center ice. Picked up there by Drew Johnson. He'll shoot it from center. Goes in behind the net. Comes to Aaron Leduc. Here's Leduc skating it ahead to Ramo. Ramo looking for his man breaking. Saw him but didn't quite get it to him. Didn't put enough on it. Back comes Ogdensburg into the Massena zone. The Devils try to center. Leduc gets a piece of it. They got a man in front. Here's a shot. And it's still free. Cleared back to the point. Here's a shot. Big save by DeLille. Big save by DeLille. We'll say it again. The Raiders control it out to center ice. They ice the puck. And the whistle will blow with 1:50 left in the third period.
Scramble in front, the puck comes loose, goes back to the right point, and Corey McClear found himself back there. He replaced the defenseman. He stepped down right to the top of the circle, below the top of the circle, and really scalded one. And Dusty DeLille, again, I'm not sure he saw it, Jerry, but again, position. He had himself in the right spot and didn't give Corey McClear anything. Now, that last shift, a little long out there. They got to get a little shorter line changes on that one, Jerry.
Off the face-off, we've got Catanzari taking it. Tubolino and Levine are out there. And it's going to be Ryan Morley off the face-off. Levine just trying to flip it out to center ice. I'll tell you what, here comes Ogdensburg back the other way, and the kid, I hope he's okay. Who is it? Morley stepped right on the puck and went down, but I think he's okay. Yeah, he's still out there. That's good. Now Tubolino kind of lost his edge. Morley comes up with a puck, dumps it deep in the Massena zone, goes in behind the net. DeLille leaves it. The puck sits behind the net. Berg comes up with it. Got a man in front, and they feed it to him, but it goes by him out to center ice. 3-0. Raiders lead with 1:12 left in third period. Puck almost stolen by Catanzari. Devils, long headman pass. Nick Toth steps in front of that. Looking to waste a little time. Flips it ahead off Catanzari. Back in Ogdensburg territory. Under a minute left in the third period. Puck comes to the Massena line. Toth is there. Looks to move it. He's going to carry it across. Wind up. Shot right on the rebound. McDonald, and Eric just couldn't put a stick on it. Puck back out to center ice. Ramo is there to flip it ahead to the Ogdensburg line. 40 seconds left. Puck dumped down the Massena zone. They're going to wave the icing off. And it comes to Brandon Hall. He skates from behind the net. He'll carry it. Oh boy, here we go. Hall, headman to Ramo, gets the return pass. Nice pass in front. Oh, McDonald will never have a better chance than that. What a beautiful three-way passing play. Hall tries to keep it in the zone. Ended up falling down. The puck back out to the neutral zone. It battles around with 12 seconds left. And McDonald picks it up, knocked away from him. And finally, it's going to be Massena breaking in. Is that Southwick to Rupert? Rupert! And he's knocked down as the buzzer sounds. And the Raiders get a shutout for Dusty. They had to withstand a poor second period, but they do, and come up with the second and third goals in the third to beat Ogdensburg 3-0. The Raiders have pretty much done what they had to do so far, winning at home in the league, with one exception to Canton, and that was a tie.
That was a tie. So, but I'll tell you, that last rush of Brandon Hall up the middle, he made a beautiful pass to Aaron Ramo.